Alright guys, this is to my fellow targets. And this video today is going to be about how to navigate and how to avoid being discredited. Alright, so first of all, what is the act of discrediting? Now, the act of discrediting is to make someone seem as if they're crazy or as if they don't know what they're talking about. So, how do we go about navigating this and avoiding this, right? So first of all, how do they discredit? Okay, so they use the mental health system to discredit. Now, I know some buzzwords, right? We have schizophrenia, we have paranoia, and we have delusional. And those are the three buzzwords that they use. And okay, let me go over schizophrenia. Now, schizophrenia is defined by disorganized thinking, and I can't really go over what schizophrenia looks like right now. Okay, let me try to sound like a schizophrenic, okay? So, here I go. Alright. So, today I went to the store. This is just a random story here. This is not accurate to reality at all. So, today I went to the store. But see, then I saw this castle here. But before I saw that castle, see those trees over there. Those trees. It seems like those trees are messing with me in some type of way. Now, but see, look. All right, but in the sky there, do you see that in the sky right there? There's something in the sky. I mean, now these people here, and you get the gist, right? Like it's disorganized thinking, disorganized speech, and stuff like that, right? So in order to avoid that, you want to organize as much as possible your thinking, your articulate yourself correctly, do not know what you're talking about, basically, and that's pretty much how you avoid that, right? So then we have delusions, right? Delusions are I believe delusions are more on the, like, not physically affect, like I believe that schizophrenia like physically affects you. Delusions are more like mental, you know what I mean? Like, so for delusions, right, it would be like some type of magical situation, and that would be more mental than physical, in my opinion. I don't know, I'm not no fucking expert on this shit. So don't come to me talking about, well, I think my friend's delusional. Well, don't come to me on that. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But that's how I would define it. So, next one we have paranoia. Now, paranoia is a tricky one because they can induce all of the, well, everyone is a tricky one because they can induce all of them with technology. I'm not going to get into that. But paranoia is really a tricky one because it can be induced by the shit that they do, which is what do I call it? I would call it persistent surveillance, right? And also how do I define this? It's like surveillance that is known to the person but not known to the people that like surround the person, right? So like these go for the, like, this is for like the normal people. The normal people, right? And this sounds like mental illness, but let me explain myself. So, in order to explain myself, I'm sorry, I'm gonna need some notes here. So let me pause this video real quick and I'll be right back. Now the way this is done is through sensitization. So, you know, I'm sorry, I had to search up the definition of sensitization. My bad. Sensitization before, you know, I came over here to speak about it. So, right, let's say I were to cough, right? Now, how this would work is you would get enough people to cough, right, to the person that knows what is going on, right? So the way that sensitization works is that through repeated exposure of coughing, eventually it would get down to the point where you would just hear anyone cough, and then this would appear as if they were a part of this. Now, This is smart. This is psychology. You can search this up. This is not just no bullshit that I just came up with. This is psychology. Really search it up. Sensitization in psychology. And this is what they use. So, in order to avoid being discredited in that type of way, you would want to, try not to be sensitized to the certain things that they do, right? Because they have lots of ways, lots of methods of sensitization. The ones that I've seen, you know what, I'm not going to get into that. That's a recipe for disaster, so I'm not going to get into it. You search it up, right? You get the gist. If you see it, you get the gist. It's like repeated exposure, and this could be of anything. Like, this could be smoking a cigarette. This could be scratching yourself. It could be anything. Just search it up. Read the definition. I'm not going to get into it because that is room for 5150. Now, this is why you got to be smart. Because along this targeted journey here, they will try to discredit you. And this is basically the way that COINTEL was made for, right? This was to, how do I say it? Dismantle a group or a movement before it even started, right? So this is what, maybe not exactly this is what they would use, but this is combined now. Nowadays, this is what they would use combined with, that. So they would use that. They would also use triggers. And that's really the same thing as sensitization. I would call the sensitization tactics triggers in itself, because this can make people, when they see these methods of sensitization or triggers, they would, people are different. Some people have different reactions. Some people have, other reactions. Some people have bad reactions. Some people know what's happening and they can navigate through it. Some people, after, some time of being through it, then they snap. So, it's really, it depends on the person, really. But, right, you would want to deprogram yourself from the sensitization, and you would want to rework yourself from the ground up to where you would not be affected so much by the shit that they do. Because this is, my bad for talking so fast, but this is based off of COINTEL, right, and Stasi. Like, search up just East Germany, Stasi, and you would basically get the gist of this. And maybe you would want to search up black psychology or something like that. Black psychology, or just psychology in general, in terms of sensitization, and you would get the gist of what's going on and what they use to try to discredit you, right? And if I'm not going into the comic shit in the next video, because I'm planning something, right, some type of project that I have. I'm not really going to get into the details. We'll see if they stop it or not. We'll see if they let it happen or not. I mean, they have a good amount of control from what I've seen over situations, and I'm not leaving any room for 5150, so I'm going to explain that to the targets themselves rather than the people that don't know. So, and the people that do know about it, so they're going to do it anyway. They're trying to discredit, but they know about it, right? So that's a whole nother story for another day. But the basic gist of this is to keep the people that try to discredit you on the defensive, right? I was in this chat. I'm going to get into that in a completely separate video. And whether or not this worked, I don't really know. I mean, I had to kind of step into the line of fire here to see what they were trying to do. I mean, I knew it was a disinfo type person, discrediting type person, but, I had to do it anyway. I mean, I don't know why I do shit like that. I just thought it would be a good idea to show the other targets what to avoid, and basically you avoid what I'm doing. So that's what you want to avoid. Everything that I do in terms of that next video that's going to come out, next video after that is probably just going to be me doing my own thing, because I'm kind of getting tired of this shit. I kind of want to focus on something else, at least for a little while. So really what they're trying to do is just buy my time, buy my time and keep me focused on them when I'm really trying to think of some projects here. So the other video is going to be explaining, basically, it's going to be going more in depth to this topic here and avoiding being discredited. And I had to, like I said before, I had to, kind of get fucked up to do that. Because you kind of have to get fucked up to learn and to teach people what not to do. So, if I end up getting 5150 from that, then that's completely up to God. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think they got me. I think I navigated that situation pretty well to the point where there's no room for that. So I'll get into that in the next video, and how like this will be a visual example in the next video. Like I just explained it, like this was more of a like type of just explanation, but the next video will be showing you what I did, right? And this was a chat that I had with someone who claimed to be a target, but they're not a target, right? I've been at this shit for so long that I just know, like, you really will. If you're a target, you'll get to the point where you just know. I don't know whether or not it's a superpower. The government certainly doesn't think it's a superpower, so that's a whole nother story for another day. Good luck, guys. In the next video, I'll go more in depth to that. So hopefully you enjoy it. Hopefully you know what to avoid. Hopefully you navigate this correctly. Right? If you're here's another point. If you're religious, right? Don't try to be more logical rather than religious if you know you're speaking to a disinfo type person, right? Or if you are trying to explain something like targeting, right? Try to avoid the more spiritual, like, regardless of whether or not you believe in that, right? That's fine, but try to avoid those type of situations where you talk about that to anyone, because that's room for discrediting as well, regardless of whether or not it's true. And I have my own thoughts on religion, and I don't know if I'll make a video on that, to be honest with you. I mean, it's kind of complicated, so it's a whole nother story for another day. So peace out, guys, and see you guys later. Even though I'm not really gonna see the targets, right? But whoever sees this, I'll see y'all later. Peace out. I got a project coming out. Hopefully y'all enjoy that. So peace.